Yo, 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 what is up? What is up, YouTube boxing family? It is that Gay right here. I'm back with another great video for you guys today. I wanted to talk about Mr. Keith One Time Thurman. Let's talk about him because this is very interesting, and I figured I give my little take on what he said in the Brian Custer interview, and I think it's important for me to bring it up because I think Keith Thurman, he's a great fighter. I respect him. I never really disrespected him. I think Keith Thurman is an amazing talent. The thing about him is just that I just never liked his business decisions on him, avoiding Errol Spence, and that was pretty much it. I mean, Keith Thurman, he's a good fighter, but he just needs to be a man of his word and stop making excuses to not fight certain names and trying to say like, oh, well, I can't fight. Like, I can't fight you, without like a title, blah, blah, blah. Like, I find that to be very, very, how should I say? I find that to be very, very, dishonest and very discouraging from Keith Thurman. I think Thurman should be a lot more, he needs to be a lot more honest with his career. And I think everything that he's done throughout the entirety of his career needs to be taken a little bit more seriously from here on out. Thurman is now 30-1 with no draws on his record. 22 by way of knockout of those wins. He is 5'9.5". He has a 69-inch arm reach. He's out of good old Clearwater, Florida, and they call him Mr. One Time. So, yeah, they call him Mr. Keith One Time Thurman for a reason. But yeah, let's just break it down, man. I think everything that Thurman said about the state of the welterweight division, I find it to be very weird. Keith Thurman has been saying that he wants to fight a champion, in the division, but it's like, when you get up to that level, like, you should be fighting everybody at that level. And I think that Keith Thurman, he has skills at 147 still. I would like to see him face some of the top dogs in the division, some of the killers in the division, primarily guys like Jaron Boots Ennis. I think Jaron Ennis deserves a shot in fighting Keith Thurman. I don't think Keith Thurman deserves any other shot with the champions right now. I think Errol Spence, he could very well vacate the belts if Crawford does not give Spence his opportunity. And I just find it weird. I just think, based off of everything that's been going on in the welterweight division, it's all being held up through Crawford's end. But I think with Keith Thurman, he just has so much on his plate where he has plenty of good names that he could fight. Primarily, I'd like to see him and Boots fight each other. I think Jaron Ennis is the perfect opponent for Keith Thurman. And he said, he's ready to fight them. He said send them, primarily towards Jaron Ennis or any other top up-and-coming welterweight to say, hey, send me the contract. I'm ready to beat you up. So I think Keith Thurman should take advantage of that, and he should go ahead and basically fight him. I don't know what else I could really say, but it's like Keith Thurman should probably take the opportunity while the buzz is still hot. So I think Keith Thurman, he should really take this advantage, and I think he should be ready to take on all the killers in the welterweight division. And then maybe if he beats a guy like Jaron Ennis or Virgil Ortiz or like Imantas Stanionis or Radza Butayev, I think he could beat Butayev and Stanionis. I think Stanionis would be way harder because, you know, he's a very vicious, you know, counter puncher and a body puncher. But I think with Boots and Virgil, that would be a very difficult matchup for Keith Thurman. So I think, you know, the options are very interesting. There's a lot of great names that Thurman could go after, but at the end of the day, this is boxing. You know, this is a young gun sport, and there's a certain cutoff in your career when you hit the 30s. And most people say in the sport of boxing, your prime usually ends around 33 years old. But I say it usually ends when your body isn't really the same anymore. And I think that's a good, fair assessment. I just think that everything that has been going on with a lot of these fighters is just that they're very conscious about who they get, you know, in the ring with. And I don't think a guy like Keith Thurman is the same Keith Thurman that was taking all these heavy loaded blows from Sean Porter, Diego Chavez, like, you know, all these big, you know, heavy loaded punchers. But either way, I think that Keith Thurman, you know, he's a great talent. It's just that, you know, we need to see it to believe it now, because he hasn't been fully committed to his disciplinary, you know, responsibilities. But I think Thurman has skills. It's just that, you know, he needs to start, you know, putting he needs to start putting on, you know, the work to actually do what he needs to do. But Keith Thurman is in a very good position right now. I think Thurman should probably go ahead and fight somebody like a Yordenis Ugas. I think he should fight Jaron Ennis. I think Jaron Ennis would be, you know, the perfect matchup stylistically. But I mean, if you want like another little, you know, like tune-up fight, I'd probably go ahead and fight maybe Stanionis. I mean, Stanionis is a good test. But, I mean, Jaron Ennis would probably be like the most violent matchup for Keith Thurman. Because I think Jaron Ennis, he's not coming to lay down. He's coming to stop Keith Thurman. So, I think that would be the least likely fight that Keith Thurman would want. But I think Keith Thurman should go ahead and fight somebody that's going to be a good veteran to give him rounds. And the fight itself will be entertaining to watch. There are some good talks that Thurman should go ahead and fight Conor Benn. But I think Conor Benn is not really the proper step in the right direction. Because even though Conor Benn, you know, he is fighting, you know, Chris Eubank Jr., I think that matchup would not scale well. But I just think, like, you know, Keith Thurman, he has more tools to beat up Conor Benn. So I don't think a Conor Benn fight would be the right style matchup to be more prepped for the higher welterweight division matches. So, I mean, Thurman has great skills. He has a lot of great technical abilities, but I think the biggest weakness for Keith Thurman is the body. You know, he's very heavily exposed to the body, and I think once you hurt him enough, I think Keith Thurman will start to fold more. So I think the perfect matchup for him would be somebody that's not afraid to let their hands go and actually give him a very difficult battle. I think another good matchup that I'd like to see would be him and I don't know. I wouldn't mind an Abel Ramos fight, but I think Abel Ramos is not the proper test. But I think Ugas would be that right opponent. I think Thurman and Ugas would definitely make the welterweight division interesting, and that would be a great classical battle. So, I mean, I wouldn't mind the fight between him and Jaron Ennis, but I think if Thurman wants to be back in his Keith Thurman mode, just to be back in the groove of, like, you know, expanding his skill set with another tough matchup, I think Yordenis Ugas is the perfect fight for him. So, those are my thoughts. Let me know what you guys think. I'll see you guys later. And be sure to like, rate, comment, share the video. And I'll see you guys later. Peace out. Thank you. Salute to the mighty LDBC. And salute to the TWT. I'll see you guys. Bye.